Time to practice gathering all of your yoga stuff. We're going to start off with our mats perpendicular to the wall, and let's begin. Adho Mukha Svanasana, heels against the wall. With each breath, inhabiting the body more fully. From the tips of the fingers to the tips of the toes, to the spaces in between the toes. And going deeper into the bones, into the organs. And now walking the feet forward, hanging Uttanasana. Toes slightly turned in, heels slightly turned out. Grip the legs, holding onto the outer arms, exhaling the head down. Keep gripping the kneecaps up, gripping the thigh muscles up, pressing the heels down. And then releasing the upper arms, bringing the fingertips to the floor. Beginning to bend the knees, moving the hips back, moving the buttocks back. Deepening that bend, absorbing the femur bones into the hips, pressing into the heels, holding onto the upper arms, changing the cross of the arms and pulling the elbow tips to the mat, squeezing the inner knees to the outer armpits. And then releasing the hands, fingertips to the floor, pressing into the feet to slowly straighten the legs, re-gripping the knees and the thighs up. And then coming back up. Tadasana. Uttita Trikonasana with the outside edge of the left foot against the wall. Nice wide stance, grip the legs, lifting the chest, exhale. Press into the outside edge of that back foot continually. Smooth the breath out, keep the body gripped, alive and awakening. Now turning the top arm and diagonalizing the top arm. Press into the outside edge of that back foot. Stretch those top fingertips away. Feel the waist stretch. And 2. And 1. Inhaling back up. And releasing. Changing sides. Uttita Trikonasana on the left hand side. Taking that width. Finding that grippiness, lift the chest, exhale, reaching, finding Uttita Trikonasana, stabilizing with the breath, Diffuse that alertness everywhere, that presence. Keep pressing the outside edge of that back foot towards the wall, into the wall. And then turning the top arm and extending it over diagonally. Stretching the waist. And inhaling up. And exhale, releasing. Viparita 3 with a block. Using the wall. Arms distance away. Right knee bent, left leg diagonally extended, widen the buttocks apart, twisting to the right, lift the left arm up, and exhale across. Both heels firm. Be with the back body. With the exhale, caress the right shoulder blade towards the left shoulder blade and see how that affects the twisting and opening of the front body. And then releasing and changing sides. Turning to the left. Inhale the right arm up, bringing length. Exhale. Viparita 3. Traveling to the back body with the breath. And with the exhale, finding the left shoulder blade and streaming it over towards the right shoulder blade. Noticing the corresponding effect on the front body. And exhale and releasing. Turning around and facing the wall. Adho Mukha Svanasana, hands to the wall. Relax the face, push the front thighs back, sharpen the sit bones to the sky. Walking in, finding Uttanasana with our backs against the wall, coming in as close as we can, the legs straight, the knees gripped, the thighs gripped, and holding on to the upper arms. Let the wall help us to get deeper and deeper. The back of the neck long, not pressing with the back of the skull. Bring the elbow tips towards the wall and feel the armpits open. Breathe into the armpits. And then releasing the hand, fingertips to the floor, and coming back out, and releasing. Viparita Dandasana 2 into Parsvakonasana, binding Parsvakonasana. Outside edge of the left foot against the wall, nice wide distance. Grip the legs, lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, Viparita Dandasana 2. Inhale. And exhale, reaching. Hand on the inside edge of the foot. Parsvakonasana stage 1. Push the outside edge of that back foot against the wall continually. Squeeze the back inner knee. And now we're going to bring this top arm behind us. With the exhale, twisting from the belly button. And now we're going to wrap that bottom arm underneath the thigh, joining our hands, binding Parsvakonasana. And releasing the bottom hand, lifting the top arm, stage 1, through Viparita Dandasana 2, and back out. And changing sides. Outside edge of the right foot against the wall, left leg forward. Grip the legs, lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, Viparita Dandasana 2. Inhale, exhale, reaching, coming down in front of that front foot on the inside edge, finding stage 1 Parsvakonasana. Use this front arm to push the inner knee open. And now wrap this top arm behind us. And exhale, twisting from the navel. Make sure the outside edge of that back foot is pressing against the wall. Wrap the bottom arm underneath the thigh, joining, binding. And releasing, connecting through stage 1, through Viparita Dandasana 2, and back up, and releasing. Marijasana 3, finding our blocks, adjusting the distance. Widen the buttocks apart for a broad base, turn to the right. Inhale the left arm up, exhale. Smooth the breath out. Even it out. Feel the spine. And with each inhale, try to lengthen the spine. Gently unwinding. Changing sides. Widening our base of the buttocks, turning to the left. Inhale, the right arm lifts, exhaling across. With each inhale, create more and more length in the spine and spaciousness between each and every vertebrae. And then unwinding and moving the block. Adho Mukha Svanasana, heels against the wall. Spread the fingers widely, spread the toes widely. Re-stretch the arms, re-stretch the legs, push the front thighs back. Now stepping the right leg forward, Over wide lunge, coming to extreme pigeon pose. The foot is in the middle of the mat in line with the face. Right arm underneath. Moving down, the forearm supports us. We come onto the outside edge of the foot. And with the exhale, trying to bring the head to the inner foot. Lengthen the breath, even out the breath, rhythmic and supportive. And then coming back out, Adho Mukha Svanasana, heels against the wall. Stretching the arms, stretching the legs, lifting the sit bones higher and higher and higher. And now left leg forward to an over wide lunge. Foot in the middle of the mat. Left arm underneath. Coming in. The forearms help support us as we come onto the outside edge of the foot. And exhaling downwards in surrender. Gliding with the exhale into more and more depth. Counting the inhale, counting the exhale, evening them out. And then emerging and right back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, heels against the wall. Relax the neck completely. Feel the armpits opening, stretching, broadening. Press the heels firmly into the wall continually. And now walking forward, feet the width of the mat, Salabhasana. Inhale, look up, grip the legs, shoulders broad, and exhale, pulling ourselves forward. Rip the inner knees up to the inner groins. And looking up, hands on the hips, press into the feet. Inhale up. And exhale. Alright, grabbing a chair, grabbing a blanket, and let's meet back on the mat for some Salabhasanas. I've moved my mat a little bit away from the wall so the toes don't end up touching the wall. We're going to be using either the seat of the chair or the top railing of the chair, depending on the vehicle that you're in today. And this blanket is for anyone whose pubic bones find it painful to press into the mat.
Alright, so lying down on our fronts. The edge of the blanket just above the pubic bone, not too high up here. And then adjusting the chair and the seam. Let's all start on the bottom seat first. So moving the seat away so that you could then extend the arms. The ulnar wrist is pressing down onto the seat, the palms facing each other. And try to move the ribs right here, the front ribs, forward towards the chair, away from the pubic bone, away from the hip bones. And feel the stretch that's coming to the skin of the abdominal cavity. And now press the top feet to the floor, the arms charged, the ribs forward, the sternum forward, and lower the head down.
Keep pressing into the tops of the feet and into the tops of all 10 toes, not just the big toe area, but the little toes as well. Draw the femurs into the hip sockets. And from that action, see if you can get more and more extension in the front spine, the front trunk, openings in the armpit area, the ribs underneath the armpits, keeping the arms dynamic.
And then looking back up. And exhale. And releasing. Coming up onto the forearms. Ekapada Vikasana. So, bending that right leg, reaching back. And pressing the front foot downwards. Even out the breath. And changing sides. Ekapada Vikasana. Using the exhale to get a little extra depth. And then releasing. Alright, our second Salabhasana. So for those who feel able to take it a little higher, you want to bring the chair a little bit closer towards you. And then we're reaching up. The ulnar wrist on the railing, palms facing each other. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Stretch the arms. Don't let the tailbone poke up. Don't let the buttocks poke up to the sky. Press the middle buttocks down. Press the tailbone down. Work on feeling length in the front spine. More and more exploration of what that means, from the pubic bone to the belly button to the solar plexus through the sternum plate. Feel both of your armpits. As you press the ulnar wrist down, roll the shoulders open, feel the armpits in a new way. A few more breaths here. And then exhaling and coming down. Back onto our forearms, Ekapada Vikasana. The right leg bending first. Try to keep the middle buttock pressed down at the same time. Unbending and changing sides. Ekapada Vikasana on the left. Counting the inhale, counting the exhale. Being everywhere at the same time, having that distance, you can observe all of it. And then unfolding and releasing. Third and final one, so picking if you prefer the seat or going higher up, adjusting the chair as needed, and entering. Keep extending out through the fingertips. Now lower the head down completely. Few more breaths. Maximize the inner spaciousness. And then coming out and coming down, forehead resting on the forearms. Soft, smooth inhalations and exhalations. And coming out. Right, taking our chair, you sit on it for a little twist. Padmasana on the chair. So stage one, having the feet on the outside edge so that you can see the leg is supporting the inner arch of the foot. Sitting right back on the chair. Sarvangasana. And exhale, turning to the right. And then the right hand comes to the back railing. Open the chest up to the sky. Roll the front shoulders back. And coming back out. And exhaling to the left. The left hand takes the railing. Increasing the twistingness. Leaning back a little bit to really open the chest. And coming back out, Urdhva. And releasing. Now bringing the feet to the inside edge of the front legs of the chair. Making sure you're sitting right back on the chair. Stage two of chair Padmasana. Reaching the arms up. Exhaling across. We come through as we know. Now this hand comes to the thigh, pushes it in so that we can bring the outside edge of the armpit and coming down to the floor or holding the leg right onto the railing. Let each breath be significant, feeling from inside this unraveling process. And coming back out, Urdhva. Really lift and lengthen, redistribute evenly through both feet. And exhaling to the left. The left hand presses the outer left thigh in to help us incline further, connecting the outer armpit, extending the arm down, finding the floor, and the left hand comes to the railing. Lengthen the breath, even out the breath. And time the twistingness with the exhalation. And then coming back up to sitting Urdhva. And exhaling. And releasing. Right, still staying with the chair. Ushtrasana, we want to move our mats into the wall. If you like to have extra support for your knees, you have a blanket there as well. And we're going to be doing Ushtrasana with the chair behind and the pubic bone pressing against the wall, keeping that lower back area really stable. We've got our chair, it's folded with the seat, the flat seat, the top seat facing us. We've got our wall. Okay, let's turn in. Diagonalizing the chair, coming right in so that the pubic bone can press against the wall. Lowering the chest, that's not hitting the arch of the lower back, it's hitting the coccyx area. Pressing that tailbone forward. Hands onto the chair, roll the front shoulders back. Feel the liftingness coming to the chest. Inhale and exhaling, walking the hands back the length of the chair. Count the inhale, count the exhale. Keep moving the tailbone forward, the middle buttocks forward, the pubic bone pressing against the wall. With the inhale, explore the length of the front spine. And then coming back up. And release out. Alright, thank you, chair. Just moving the chair here for a second. Taking a strap. Coming to Sarvangasana. Strap over the legs. I might be a little bit close. Really pressing the outside edges of the feet down. Back onto the elbows. Press the front thighs down. Move the buttocks towards the knees, towards the front of the mat. Coil the upper back. Bringing the crown of the head to the earth. Keep coiling the upper back, pressing the shoulder blades up. See if you can get the skull closer to the feet area. Move the front shoulders away from the ears. Roll them back and press the shoulder blades up. Now count the length of the inhales
And count the length of the exhales. Even out the breath. And disperse that even attention everywhere. Now bring the arms behind. Hold on to the upper arms. And pull the elbow tips down to the mat and towards the wall. Down to the mat and towards the wall. And now changing the cross of the arms. Keep coiling the upper back, pressing the shoulder blades up. And then bring the arms and the hands back to the feet. Making our way back up.
Lifting the buttocks, moving the back. Virasana. Widening the strap. The Yoga Mudrasana Virasana with the hands on the seat of the chair. And re-emerging. Uttanasana. Feet spread the width of the mat. And just squeezing the knees up, the inner knees to the inner groins. Dropping the head down, hands behind the feet. Pulling ourselves closer and closer. And then coming back up. Dandasana. Okay, moving the chair out to the side. We're going to come to Shirshasana 2. So tripod, 2 hands in the crown of the head instead of fingers interlocked behind the back of the skull. If you think you might need a wall, stay close to the wall. Let's meet back on the mat. Ready to start. Placing the hands, the forearms perpendicular to the mat. And lifting up, Shirshasana 2. Make sure the outer edges of the feet are coming down towards the outer hips. The front thighs are ironing towards the thigh bones. Now we're going to slowly lower down with control. Balasana, child's pose. Bring the hands behind the back, interlock the fingers together and lift those arms up, shoulder openers. Invert the hands, turn the palms up to the sky. And now lower the arms halfway down, changing the interlock of the fingers and re-lift the arms up. Invert the hands and press the heels of the hands up towards the sky. And then bring the arms back down and sitting up, Vajrasana. Shirshasana 2, second time. Placing the hands, crown of the head to the floor. Stabilizing the arms in the upper back and then lifting. Neutralize the face and keep charging the body upwards. And preparing to come down, watching the elbows as we come down, don't let them widen. And releasing. Balasana, child's pose. Even out the breath again. Bring the hands behind the back, and this time just cross the thumbs together, stretch the fingers apart and lift the arms up, opening the shoulders. Keep trying to lift the front shoulders up away from the floor. And now lowering the arms halfway down, changing the cross of the thumbs, and re-lifting the arms up. And then exhale, release. Arms to the ground. Take a breath. Relax the face. Relax the neck. And then coming back up. Vajrasana. Okay, we're going to use the wall. We're going to use this blanket if you had one. If you didn't, go ahead and get one. Fold it up. So making it a little bit thicker. Ardha Dandasana, blanket between the inner heel and the buttocks, and the wall for the backhand turn twist. So bringing the left foot underneath, turning the foot, and placing the blanket there, and coming to sit on the inner heel. And then bringing that right foot across and behind the knee.
Turning to the right, finding the wall and a little bit close. Inhaling the left arm up and exhaling across. Each breath, making it count. So being with the beginning of the breath, the middle of the breath, the end of the breath, and then its transition, and following that, seamless inhales and exhalations. And unwinding, changing sides. So now the right foot underneath, turning it, placing the blanket, and taking our seat. Bring the left foot across and behind the knee. Turning to the left, finding the wall, inhaling, lifting the right arm up, and exhaling across. Count the inhale, count the exhale. Explore the pose from inside with breath, traveling deeper and deeper. And unwinding and releasing. Okay, let's move this blanket to the side and let's come back to our trusty chair for some supported chair backbends. Make sure to check your distance first. You want that chair to be in the sweet spot, and most people do like to have a blanket here. I kind of have gotten used to this, the metal hardness. I prefer it at this point, but take what makes it comfortable for you. And then let's go ahead and sit facing the wall and preparing to come in. Moving the sacrum towards the wall and then pressing ourselves back. And stage one, we're sliding the arms through the back, reaching for the front legs of the seat. Ujjayi, one breath. Keep using the chair as inspiration to guide the shape of the body. So not just resting on it, which of course is always tempting and which has its place too, but right now letting the chair guide the back body. So that we're constantly reminded to go with the action of the shoulder blades moving up to the sky. And we see what that does to the ribs, underneath the breasts, the ribs underneath the nipple area. And beyond that, the lungs, the organic tissue of the lungs. And the cells themselves. Keep the buttocks moving towards the heels. If you're feeling any strain in the lower back, you can always come up, take a block, and put a block underneath your heels, just to have your feet a little higher off the ground, which will reduce the curvature of that lower back area. And now we're going to remove the hands and come to stage two, where we bring the arms behind us and hold on to the upper arms. So once you've adjusted the body so that it feels right on the chair, stretch the arms back. And then bend the elbows and hold on to the upper arms. If you want to increase things a bit, you can lift your head up and bring the forearms behind the skull. And then we can use the weight and gravity of the skull to increase the openings. Make sure to keep the feet firm, the heels firm, the front thighs pressing down. And now within all of that, coming back to noticing the count of our breath, where the breath is being felt. Can we even out the experience of inner breath? We're going to change the cross of the arms now. So re-stretch the arms. Change the cross. If you'd like to make more pressure, lift the head up. And move the forearms back behind the skull. Press the heels down, firm the legs. And then all of that strength, all of those openings. Try to have that even, smooth breath and attention to breath. And then releasing the arms and bringing the hands back to the railing, the top railing of the chair. Bend your knees. We're not coming up, we're sliding through. So you bend the knees, the soles of the feet are on the floor. Now pull with your hands to move yourself closer to the wall. You're coming over the seat of the chair. Move your feet back towards the chair as your hips come forward. You're going to find Vajrasana legs. So be sitting on your heels on the tops of the feet. And the upper back is still resting on the chair. Supported Kapotthasana. Stretch the arms back. And hold on to the outside edge of the arms. If that's too much, you can just keep the hands on the railing, wherever we are. Make sure the front thighs are pressing down. And begin to even out the breath experience. Bringing that nuance, where it's no longer just count, but the taste of the breath. The smell, the aroma of the breath, inside, outside. Which pores of the body, of the skin, are able to feel more? How can we move breath into areas that need it, that feel more dense? And what areas does this variation expose? And we're going to prepare to change the cross of the arms. So release, stretch the arms back. And changing the cross. Settling back down into supportive Kapotasana. Try to go with the coiling action of the upper back. We coil the upper back and we go with the shape of the chair, the seat of the chair, pushing that. Absorbing the seat of the chair into our upper backs. Feel the tremendous opening of the armpit area. Think of all the lymph nodes there. As we begin to open the armpits, we begin to feel breath differently in the ribs and the side lungs underneath the armpits, the pranayamic gills. And now we're going to bring the arms back up to the railing. And it's really lovely as we press the railing down, the seat lifts and it helps us to sit back up and move the railing to the thighs, and now the seat of the chair is supporting the spine. So for those of us who have the tendency to overarch like this, the seat is there to remind us to tilt, to lift the belly button up, to reconnect with firmness and length. Breathing here. And now we can take the chair off. There we go, like a t-shirt. And we're out. Alright, one little Bharavajasana on our chairs. So sitting forward and turning to the right, turning to the right. Lengthen the breath, smooth it out. And then coming through the middle and to the left. Turning to the left. And then back through the front. And let's move our chair to the side, and we can move our mat a little bit away from the wall, and a few sitting places, hips and forward bends. Starting off with a variation of Janushisasana. So blanket, left leg extended, and right knee bent. First of all, we're turning and twisting to the right, like a Bharavajasana in Janushisasana legs. Twisting from the navel. And then coming up and changing sides. Bharavajasana in Janushisasana, twisting to the left. And releasing, changing sides, left leg straight, right knee Janushisasana. And this time coming diagonally forward. At some point I know my hands are going to cut out, but you can see the main action.
Lift the belly button gently up towards the lower back as we come forward.
And back up and changing sides. So you can see that it's a gradualized layered Janushavasana, helping our spines to gently recover from the back bends. So coming diagonally forward. And then coming back up, changing sides, left leg straight, right knee bent. Now this time, we're not going straight forward, we are turning to the left. And as we turn and twist, it's okay if this leg lifts up a little bit. So here we go, fingertips to the floor like that, turning and twisting.
And going under the plants.
And then back up. And now coming forward over the front leg. And back up and changing sides. Last time, right leg straight, left leg Janushavasana. So instead of coming over the leg, we're turning to the right, fingertips to the floor. Feels a little bit awkward the first time we do this, and then we can really feel, once we release to it, that action, that beautiful releasing that it's doing. And now walking the hands forward. Janushavasana. And back up. And coming out. Alright, double pigeon. So I prefer not to use anything, but if your hips are tight, you should take height. If you like to have support between your knees, your thighs, taking all the supports that make the body trust your movement. So left leg underneath, shin parallel, right leg on top. Exhaling forward. And now walking the hands to the right. Twisting, turning. And now to the left.
And then back up, changing sides. So any last potential vestiges of tension that we hear should be just dissolving now. And to the right. The left abdomen turning to the right with each exhale. And back up to the left. And then coming back up. And one last Viparita Dandasana before a final Salabhasana. So feet spread the width of the mat, turning to the right. Keep gripping the knees and thighs up. And now to the left. The quadriceps gripping up. And then back to the middle. Hands on the hips, bend the knees, press into the feet. And inhale. And coming back up. Right, last and final pose, Sarvangasana, chair Salabhasana, one bolster, 2 blankets, back on the mat. I love this variation. The bolster is this way underneath the chair, so that the rounded end of the bolster is pressing into the dorsal spine, the thoracic rib area, rather than the traditional way, which is also really lovely, of this, but this has a particular in that diamond imprint area that we're looking at. And I've got 2 blankets for a little more height, and then a sticky mat here so it doesn't slide everywhere. All right, when you've got all those things, let's go ahead and come into our Sarvangasana. Coming in, moving our buttocks forward for balance. Adjusting the bolster as needed. And bringing the hands through, holding onto the back, 2 legs of the chair. Feet to the railing if you haven't already. Feeling, if everything feels right, we can straighten the legs. If it doesn't feel right, bring the backs of the knees back to the railing, adjust, and begin again. Okay, so let's straighten both of our legs to the sky. Keep the inner big toes touching and slightly separate the inner heels apart. This is going to help us really connect to a more valuable action of the groins. The inner groins are really able to roll back and out to the wall behind us. The outside edges of the feet are moving towards the outer hips.
Keep observing what the shoulders are doing. That tendency we all have to hunch the shoulders up towards the ears. That thinkingness, that worryingness there. And this here in the Salabhasana is the perfect setup to really feel those front shoulders letting go, moving back. And what is the mental state that follows that action? Can you feel the release in the brain? If you notice the chin starts to move away from the throat, then you're starting to press in the back skull. So lengthen the back of the neck, and naturally the chin comes closer to the throat again, and then the front throat can soften. We're going to bend our knees and put the feet on the railing again. If the lower back is feeling at all sensitive, move your hips, your buttocks a little bit closer towards the face, towards the edge of the chair to reduce the arch. Now we're going to straighten the legs, but we're going to straighten them diagonally away. So with an exhalation, straighten the legs, and the backs of the knees or the backs of the thighs or calves, depending on your leg length, can be resting on the railing of the chair, but the legs are not resting, they're firm. You're pushing out through the balls of the feet, they're charged, and the outside edges of the feet are coming towards the outer hips. And the outer hips are bolting towards each other. So there's absolute firmness in the lumbar. We are not looking to arch the lower back. We're looking for firmness and stability in the lower back, length in the lower back, which also brings length to the abdominal cavity, and archingness in the middle and upper back. So as you roll the front shoulders open, press the arms down, and press the back ribs up to the sky. Explore that new shape with breath inside. We're going to bend the knees again, bring the feet to the railing, re-roll the shoulders back, and now just open the legs apart from each other, finding Baddha Konasana. In our Baddha Konasana, don't let that passiveness settle in. There's definitely a softness in the abdominal cavity and of course the opening of the groins, but keep the feet pressed together and keep squeezing the outside edges of the thighs upwards, in towards each other. So you're not letting the outside edges of the thighs hang down, you're squeezing up. That indent in the outer hip that some people have, even if your vehicle doesn't have that indent, you've seen it before, you know where it is. Squeeze the outer hips, the indent point towards each other, bolt the outer hips from that action. And press the soles of the feet together. So it's an active Baddha Konasana. Keep pressing the arms down to better press the back ribs up. And now we're going to bring the inner knees towards each other again. Releasing our hands
and sliding gently down until our hips are on that end of the bolster. Resting here for a few breaths. Any last tensions in the face, becoming aware of them, aware enough of them so that we can release them. And this will naturally lead us into Shavasana. So we'll just move backwards and move that bolster away from us. If you were using 2 blankets, you have a blanket right here for your neck and head. If not, perhaps take one. And we'll come to a nice chair Shavasana. The abdomen, as it recedes towards the lower back, as it melts in Shavasana, creating a natural bowl shape, complete softness in the organic body. Extending the arms diagonally away. The eyelids closing. With an exhale, relax the forehead and the temples completely. Relax the cheeks, the lips. And feel the jaw softening, the tongue softening. The inner ears softening. With a gentle exhale, relax the throat, the collarbones, the sides of the neck. Feel the tension releasing. Feel that softness coming into the shoulders. That softness trickling down through the upper arms, through the elbows, through the forearms and wrists. The hands and the fingers quiet. That melting quality. With an exhalation, relax the lungs. Relax the intercostal muscles. Feel the ribs release their grip on the lungs. And observe this peacefulness, gently streaming through the solar plexus, through the diaphragm, into the abdominal area and all of the organs within. Each exhale helping the abdomen to release, to recede, to completely melt towards the lower back, which is completely resting on the mat. With an exhalation, relax all of the organs of excretion, all of the organs of reproduction.
Let the thigh muscles release their grip on the thigh bone. Let the knees become liquid. The calves and shins melting on the seat of the chair. With an exhalation, relax the front ankles. Relax the back ankles. Relax the inner ankles and the outer ankles. And feel the feet themselves entering that new softness. The soles of the feet becoming porous in their softness. And now keeping the eyes closed, just gently lift the hands up and rub the hands together. Keep rubbing. Keep the body relaxed. And rubbing the hands. And now we're going to place the hands, the palms of our hands, on each eye. And then we're going to allow the eyelids to open within the darkness of the hands over the eyes, so that our return from Shavasana is gentle, is respectful,
helping us to stay with that silence even as our hands part and mind moves with eyes and external vision. And when we feel ready, we can roll over. And welcome back. Our practice is complete. Namaste. Hope we practice again together soon. Take care.